Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gilles Dupont. I'm from the channel team. I'm account manager mainly for Spain. So today I'm going to present you the 10 most common mistakes that partners do. This is a list that we made based on the years of experience working with hundreds of partners. Some of the mistakes are more happen in some different regions, so it's not necessarily focused on a specific market, so it's more a general list of a few. Okay, so the 10 mistakes, I'm gonna review them as a sales cycle. Okay, so I'm gonna start right before there is even a customer until the end with the support. So the first one is really having the right balance between selling and training. Then we go on getting some leads. Getting some leads through the website, for example. Then going on about the relationship with your account manager when the real sales starts with the customer. Then we have the demo. Then we go on with the pricing that you propose to the customer. You win it. We go on the first project, and then we're gonna review a bit the business strategy and also bing bang approach. And finally, focusing too much on the customer when you already have sold a few projects. So the first mistake is not having the right balance between training and selling. What I mean by that is that some partners who are starting, they really invest a lot of time in training. They spend months learning the project, the different apps. It's very good, it's really important, but they neglect also selling. You need to talk to the customer as early as possible. Why? Because you can train for months, but at the end of the day, you need to bring revenue in. So, what gives you the opportunity to talk to the customer? You're gonna have a real case. They're gonna push you to learn about some different apps. You will have to do a demo. So, of course, you will say, okay, I will have to do a demo on these apps, and will push you to train at the same time. For training, you have different kind of tools available. You have the knowledge base, the e-learning platform, Odoo documentation on the website. You can have also a partner pack to help you, and also the Odoo certification to really have a global function knowledge. So selling is learning, do it as soon as possible. Second, now we go on the leads. Being too dependent on the leads, what does that mean? Is that sometimes we have partners who come to us, to the account manager, and they say, I'm stuck, I don't have anything to do, please send me some leads. So this is a problem because basically you rely on someone else to bring revenue to your company. So that's not what we want. Odoo gives leads depending on the region. We have more leads than others. We try to give as much as we can. But we really want our partner to be autonomous in getting new clients. So what will give you getting your own clients is you can grow at faster pace because of course Odoo will give you some leads when they're available. So you have yours and also the ones from Odoo. And the other one I say is give and you shall receive. What that means that if you talk with your account manager, you give, you share your leads with him, you work on it with him. It's easy also to then ask and say, please try to find some leads for me, and that's really how it works in the end. Then we go on the website. You can imagine how many partners we have that don't mention that they are selling Odoo. I think it's about 30%. So what the idea here is really to try to make some noise for free, nearly for free, through your website. So, like I said, many partners just don't mention it. So if you are a partner, mention that you do Odoo services, using Odoo for your website, of course, work on your SEO, and then getting some leads from the website is doing some webinars, write some blogs, some how-tos, and of course business case, okay, and the experience you have if you work on some industry, show it through your business case. On Odoo websites, you know that as a partner you have a spot in our page, you have a description. Try to find someone a description that's catchy, different, that you have just a few phrases to really catch the attention of the customer. If you're an expert in some industry, use that as a trigger. Then the customer can click on it and have a full description of what you do. Also, your customer reference. When you sign Odoo Enterprise contract, you can list your client as a reference. You can check on your website. A lot of partners don't put a description on what they did for this customer. So you have a few phrases, explain what were the challenges, how you resolved them with Odoo, and what was your extra value. And then we have customer success stories that we publish on our blog. We always welcome them. I always ask my partner, please, if you have a nice project, a good customer, let's work on it with our marketing team to write a blog, and we're gonna share it, all the account managers on LinkedIn, etc. So it gives you credibility as well. Then you have contribute. We have an app store, so contribute your modules. You can also sell them. You will see that you will get some review from the sales of those modules, but as well customer just contacting you because with that module resolve some kind of business problem they have. So they will see you as an expert, so don't hesitate to do that. Of course, the most you contribute, well, the most recognized partner you are as well. You can see the list on the website, and you will see a bunch of them are really good partners and very, very known. Finally, be social. So everything that you do on your websites, how-tos, tutorials, blogs, share them on LinkedIn, do some videos on YouTube. 4 is not having a sales relationship with your account manager. So we think it's 2 brains are better than 1. So what I do with my partners, I really push them to work as a team in the sales cycle as early as possible. So on the leads that we give to Odoo, but as well on their leads. Because some partners, they wait very till the end to say, okay, I have a project. You lose some added value on that. Why? Because if we work as a team, we really can let's say, attack the customer in different angles. You are going to talk to the customer, I'm going to talk to the customer, and in many cases, we don't get the same feedback. So the client will say some things to the partner that will not. All of this, if you start very early in the cycle, of course not at the sales, at the cold call, but when you know there is a project going on, involve your account manager, and it will really give you an edge. How? Phone calls, webinars. We can also do on-site meeting. So if you have more at the end of the sales cycle, we can also go to see your clients with you. Neglecting the power of a good demo. So now, okay, we've gone through the website, the leads, sales cycle, the phone calls with the manager, and then we need to do a demo. We have some partners and mostly competitors. They do PowerPoint presentation. It's really boring. Then they give you a quote, and the customer really didn't see the product. They can check it out because it's Odoo and you can go on odoo.com, but you need to do a demo using the right methodology. You need to do qualification, really deep qualification. You really understand the different processes of the customer. Then you can personalize the demo, so they will recognize you doing it, that they can really relate to what you're saying. And of course, using the wow effects. We have, I think, a few talks about doing a good demo. If not this year or last year, you can check it out on YouTube. And if not, just ask your account manager and you can involve him in the demo and doing a demo together. It really puts the prospect in the contact with the product. They get excited. You set also the right expectation because them seeing the product, they will ask the right question as well. So it's really important. It really gets you shortlisted on bigger project. The pricing. Now we did a good demo. We need to go on the pricing. 2 things. The value proposition of the enterprise contract. So as a partner, we expect you to try to sell Odoo Enterprise. And for this, you really need to believe in it. Because I see some partners, I have some partners in my network that they want to sell it, but really deep, they don't believe in the values. What there are, it's free migration, support, enterprise features, support functional bug fixing, also follow up with the account manager. So you really need to understand the values of the enterprise contract. Ask your account manager to help you sell the enterprise contract. You can learn from it. You just do a call conference together. So, but you really need to believe in it, because if you don't believe in it, the customer will feel it, and it's gonna be harder. We also believe that selling the best version of Odoo will give a better customer satisfaction in long term. Then you have the fixed price project. So that was for the licenses. Now we're in the implementation cost. We see many partners doing fixed price projects. As you know, it's very risky business. It's not good for you. It's not good for the customer. For you, because you take some risk. You are not sure, depending on the process you followed, on the scope. And for the customer, you need to take a margin to protect yourself. So it's going to be more expensive. At the end, you need to win the deal, so you also have to think about the pricing. Maybe you're tempted to go a bit lower, so you take some risk. What we recommend is always to work on time and material. If for the customer it's a deal breaker, try to go on a mixed approach. You do all the analysis, the project management, the support, the gap analysis on time and materials, and you commit yourself for the developments. Your first project, that's a bit what Hans said earlier. Now, okay, we won the project, now we need to do it. That's more for new partners. They want to do the first project by themselves. It's in most cases, it's the hardest project. It's really hard. You don't have much experience. So what we really want is ask us, try to work with us. We sell a partner success pack where you will have a consultant helping you. It's super important because a project, it's your first reference. It's critical in your future. So having a consultant that has experience, that will be able to do the follow-up with you, code reviewing, implementation methodology, it's very important. You will gain skills, you will gain time, you will learn as you do. So it's not only for the project, but it's also for you. And those services, they're paid, but you don't have to really pay for them. You should include them in the quotes for the implementation. So the impact on that cost will be on the client. And then if you don't use all the hours, you will be able to use it for another project. Your business strategy. We've talked about this many times during this Odoo experience, is really to find the right balance between business services and developments. Like you saw maybe in other talks, the one from Johan, Fabien talked that also in the keynote, is to have more business consultants than developers. This is something that we experience with some of our gold partners. It really works for them, it works for us too, and it's also where the market is going. You have better margins. If you focus on development, because maybe you don't have enough knowledge of the functional scope of Odoo standard, you will need to do a lot of developments. The customer will have to pay a lot of maintenance on this, and at the end, he will blame you for that, because in a few years you still have to pay maintenance for these developments, of course, instead of focusing on new apps and new added value. So also, a big quote on developments will be more expensive than a partner that's focusing on Odoo standard with business services. So many times that's the one who's gonna win. So this is also important to take into account that. Finally, for this part, be an expert in some industry. Fabien talked about this too. When you start, you can find a niche. Maybe you have a background in manufacturing. Well, use this to target those clients you have much more business services to sell with your experience. So it's something to take into account. 9 is going for the big bang approach. So in Odoo, we don't like the big bang approach. We've been saying that for many, many years. That's why we're a modular solution. We have lots of apps which can be implemented app by app. So what we recommend is really to start small, expand. You can start with a set of apps. It can be CRM, sales, invoicing for a service company, for the sales department, for example. You lower the risk on the scope because it's much more restricted. Also, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than implementing the whole company. So you can start with one department. You have a foot in the door. You can then next year you always have good reason with the new version to have new apps installed. So we can start really doing the connections between the different departments in that company. It's also easier to sign. If you have a quote of 500,000 euros, it's going to be much more difficult to get in signed by the head of the department, the legals, the CFO, and maybe the CEO as well. So if you start with a smaller, with one department, maybe just the head of the department just has to sign it, so it's easier. And of course, you can expand according to the customer needs and budget. You don't have to do it all at once. You can expand in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years. Finally, now we're on the support part. We've done the sales, we've done the project, and now we're gonna support our customer. Is focusing too much on new clients. We have many partners still that are, they see the project as a one-time shot. So they do it, okay, it's done, now I'm gonna look for new clients. We consider the clients as a long-term process that will give you recurring revenue each year. For that, you need, of course, not neglect your business, your support processes. As you grow, as you have more projects, you have more issues arise by your customer, and you need to be prepared for this, because then you have some customer who feel a bit left out because, of course, you're implementing also new project. So it's really important to think about this as you grow. Each year you're having more customer, you really need to dedicate the resources to the support. Also, it takes much more time acquiring new customer. Your customer, they're existing, you have already a sales relationship with them. It's easy with Odoo version 12 to sell them the document management, for example. So you have a really nice new project to give them. They will be more satisfied, and for you selling your business consultants. And finally, don't neglect your support. It's really important to follow the customer in the journey, even after the deal has been sold. That's it. Thank you very much. You have any question? No? Was it clear? If you have any question, it's more specified to your project or market, don't hesitate outside to ask me directly. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.